welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kris. My husband and I live in Manzanillo, Mexico in a house that we custom built last year. We learned so much about the building process that we wanted to share what we learned with other people who are thinking of doing the same. Today, I want to do a deep dive into Mexican bathrooms and share everything I've learned about them. Stick around to the end of this video to find out the #1 reason Mexican bathrooms have that classic stinky smell. So, let's talk bathrooms. HGTV has conditioned us to want big, beautiful bathrooms with huge walk-in showers, multiple shower heads, double sinks, huge soaking tubs, glass, mirrors, chandeliers from the ceiling. But have you ever thought about the plumbing and electrical infrastructure that's needed to support all of these amenities? You will need to if you are building or remodeling a bathroom in Mexico. Mexican plumbing is quite different from the United States. First, I want to give you an overview of how the plumbing functions in a Mexican house. Then I want to talk to you about how you can adjust your design to get a bathroom that is not only beautiful, but also functions really well. But before I continue, I hope you will like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's talk Mexican plumbing. First, we can look at the water supply, the water coming into the house. If you are connected to a municipal water supply, you will get your water from pipes in the street. The problem is sometimes that water supply is erratic. Sometimes there's no water, and sometimes the pressure is so low that it barely comes out of the faucet in a trickle. To solve this problem, most Mexican homes have a tank located on the roof that collects the water supply for the house to use. The tank is called a tinaco. A typical tinaco holds about 150 to 200 gallons of water. Once you use up all the water in the tinaco, you have to wait for the city water to refill it. Sometimes due to demand or some other reason, there isn't enough water pressure from the city to push the water up to the tinaco. So, some homes add an additional water collection step called a cisterna. This is a large tank that is installed underground. It collects thousands of gallons of water from the city. Then it uses a pump to pump the water up to the tinaco when the level of the tinaco goes down from use. The biggest problem with this water collection system is that the pumps and the floats are notorious for breaking. In fact, we've had to replace several parts in just the last year. The tinaco also plays another important role in the water supply of the house. Because it's on the roof, its height creates the water pressure for the house. Unfortunately, sometimes that water pressure isn't that great. Some homeowners install the tinaco on a platform to raise it even higher. What you'll find often in a 2-story home is that the water pressure on the first floor is much better than the water pressure on the second floor. But if your bathroom is on the second floor and you need more water pressure, you may need to add one more item, a pressurization pump. This will help maintain the water pressure in the house water supply lines. So, what does all of this mean for your bathroom design? You'll want to keep water pressure in mind as you design all the parts of the bathroom, showers, sinks, etc. I would personally steer clear of multiple shower heads. You'll be lucky if you get one really good working shower head in your shower. Plus, the water supply in Mexico is notorious for having very hard water, so you'll want shower heads that can be removed easily so that you can clean them of all the mineral deposits. As far as a bathtub is concerned, I would caution against it. You just don't find bathtubs here in Mexico very often, and there's a reason why. It will probably take a very long time to fill a soaking tub, even with a pressurization pump. So what can you do? You can definitely opt for double sinks. Sinks seem to function better than showers when it comes to water pressure. And if your sink isn't flowing well, try checking the aerator for debris and clogs. This happens quite often after remodels and construction. So if it's in your budget, have fun experimenting with tile, marble, glass, and granite. You can design accent walls, benches, and windows in your bathroom. As for large wooden vanities and linen closets, you want to keep the climate of your town in mind as you make those design decisions. Most bathrooms are not heated or air conditioned. They can collect a lot of moisture. You may want to store towels and linens in another part of the house that is drier. You may also want to install a floating vanity so that the floor is open and more accessible for cleaning and mopping. If you look at traditional Mexican bathrooms, they're often made of concrete, tile, and stone because these materials are humidity proof. Speaking of moisture, it's important that you include some form of ventilation in the bathroom. A window is the best option, but many homes have the bathroom as an interior room. You can install a ceiling vent that lets hot air out while preventing rain and bugs from coming in. So I just talked about all the ways the water comes into the house. Now let's talk about all the ways the water exits the house. First, the word for drain, as in a shower drain, is called a desagüe. Most houses have two different drain systems. One is for rainwater runoff, and it usually just empties out into the street. The other is for sewer water, and this would empty into the sewer system of the city or a private septic system. While most newer homes use PVC pipes to direct this water, the cleanouts are very different from what we're used to in the United States. Mexican houses will have anywhere from one to several cleanouts depending on size and number of bathrooms. Pipes feed into a small concrete lined hole which collects sewer water, and then it continues out the other side. These holes are covered in concrete tops and sometimes sealed with a little concrete to keep the smell inside. It's pretty gross. And it's a happy home for a lot of bugs. And I assume those bugs can find their way back up the pipes into our bathrooms. So it's really important that the drains are cleaned on a monthly basis with some bleach water, and that they are sprayed with insecticide both at the drain and around the cleanouts on at least a quarterly basis. While some say with newer plumbing you can go ahead and flush toilet paper, when I think about how the drain actually functions, I think it's a good idea to limit as much solid material as possible and place toilet paper in a trash can. Now, the biggest culprit for the stinky bathroom is the shower drain. There are several reasons why this can happen. The first reason may be that the shower drain was not installed with a trap. There are two kinds of traps. In the US, we are familiar with the P-trap. It's a piece of plumbing that uses water to seal the pipe and prevent sewer gas from rising back out of the drain. Another type of trap you find more in Mexico is a drum trap. The problem with the drum trap is that it can collect gunk a lot easier, and that gunk can start to smell. Also, it's easier for the water that creates the seal at the bottom of the trap. It's easier for that water to evaporate and let gases come through. This type of trap is also installed in shower drains, but if it's installed improperly, it can actually allow the sewer gases to leak out around the edges. And older Mexican homes are often missing traps entirely. While it's really easy to retrofit a sink with a new trap, it's much more difficult to fix a shower, which is why I recommend you plan on updating all of the plumbing if you are going to remodel a bathroom. Now, my husband and I were really concerned about having the correct traps in all of the sinks and showers when we were building the house. We told the builder many times that we wanted traps in all of the bathrooms. And our plumber insists that he followed our directions. But a month after we moved in, we started to smell sewer gases coming from our shower drain, especially in the early morning and when there were a lot of temperature changes. We called our plumber to come out and look into the problem. After he inspected the drains, climbed up on the roof, and even looked at our building plans, He determined that our bathroom was missing a vent stack pipe. This is the most common reason why Mexican houses have that stinky smell. It's a missing or poorly installed vent stack pipe. As far as I understand it, a vent stack pipe is essential for keeping sewer gases out of the bathroom. It has to do with air pressure. When a plumbing system is not ventilated, flushing the toilet can cause back pressure in the drain system and suck water out of the traps and invite sewer gases in. When you have a ventilated system, the gas escapes up the vent stack as roof breezes pull the gas away. Now, why wasn't this caught during construction? Why didn't this plumber, who had been the plumber who had installed all of the other bathrooms, and all of the other bathrooms had vent stack pipes, why didn't he say something when he noticed that he wasn't being asked to install a vent stack pipe in our bathroom? We'll never know. To fully fix our problem, we would have had to tear open the walls and possibly the floor of the bathroom so that the plumber could install a new vent stack pipe into the system. So our plumber offered us a half solution. He installed a vent pipe from the nearest sewer cleanout to direct as much of the sewer gases away as possible. It does improve the smell in the bathroom, but it's not a full solution because some of the gases still make their way back up the shower drain. So we also have to use drain covers to cover the drains up when we're not using the shower. I have to say, we were pretty disappointed and frustrated that something as simple as a vent stack was forgotten in the construction process. Now, we weren't present for this part of the construction, nor did we even think to ask our representative to count the vent stacks so that there was one for each bathroom. We just assumed the builder knew what he was doing. But that's the big difference between Mexico and the US. In the US, you have outside inspections from the local government to make sure that you are constructing everything to code. While a lot of people think this is a huge pain, it can actually save a ton of time and money if you catch problems early. In Mexico, the builder self-inspects, and a lot of it is based on the honor system, which is why it is so important to find a recommended, reputable builder. And for the most part, we are very happy with how this house has turned out and the quality of the construction. This is one mistake that went wrong out of many that could have gone wrong, but didn't. I hope our experience is a good example that even if you try really, really hard to prevent mistakes, they still happen. If you have your own Mexican plumbing stories, I would love for you to share them with me in the comments. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Until next time, bienvenido a casa.